In today's world, the discussion around religious texts and their place in society is more prominent than ever. Various groups and individuals are pushing for restrictions on the dissemination and teaching of religious scriptures, particularly those central to Christianity. This growing trend raises important questions about the motivations behind such efforts and their implications for believers and society at large. Understanding the reasons behind these attempts is crucial for anyone who values religious freedom and the ability to practice one's faith openly. These efforts are not merely isolated incidents, but part of a broader movement influenced by cultural, political, educational, and legal factors. By examining these reasons, we can gain insight into the underlying dynamics at play and better prepare ourselves to respond thoughtfully and effectively. As we delve into the key motivations driving the push to ban God's Word, it's essential to consider the broader context and potential consequences. This exploration will help us appreciate the challenges facing religious communities and underscore the importance of preserving the freedom to access and share spiritual teachings. One of the primary reasons for the push to ban God's Word is the significant shift in societal values over recent decades. As societies become more secular, there is a growing emphasis on inclusivity and tolerance for diverse beliefs and lifestyles. While these changes can promote a more accepting and diverse culture, they also create tensions with traditional religious teachings that may be viewed as exclusive or intolerant. Examples of these cultural shifts challenging traditional religious beliefs are evident in debates over issues such as gender identity, sexual orientation, and family structures. Traditional interpretations of religious texts often uphold specific views on these matters, which can conflict with contemporary societal norms advocating for broader acceptance and rights for all individuals, regardless of their lifestyle choices. This clash of values can lead to calls for the censorship or removal of religious teachings that are perceived as discriminatory or outdated. As cultural values continue to evolve, the pressure to adapt or silence traditional religious perspectives increases. For many, God's Word represents an unchanging truth that does not align with the fluid nature of modern societal values. This inherent conflict between static religious doctrines and dynamic cultural progressions fuels efforts to restrict the influence of religious texts, aiming to harmonize public discourse with prevailing cultural trends. Another significant factor driving the attempts to ban God's Word is the intersection of religion and politics. Throughout history, religion has played a crucial role in shaping political ideologies and policies. In contemporary society, however, the relationship between religion and politics can be contentious, with various political groups perceiving religious texts as either an ally or a threat to their agendas. Political groups that advocate for secularism or progressive social policies may view God's Word as a challenge to their ideologies. Traditional religious teachings often uphold values and principles that conflict with these groups' goals, such as the sanctity of life, traditional family structures, and moral absolutes. As a result, these political entities may push for restrictions on religious texts to minimize their influence on public policy and societal norms. On the other hand, some political factions may leverage religious rhetoric to advance their own agendas, selectively interpreting or promoting certain aspects of God's Word to gain support. This selective use can lead to further polarization and calls for censorship from opposing groups. Ultimately, the politicization of religion creates a battleground where God's Word is scrutinized and targeted, not merely for its spiritual content, but for its perceived impact on political power dynamics. Educational institutions play a pivotal role in shaping the beliefs and values of young minds. Schools and universities are often seen as environments for fostering critical thinking and exposing students to diverse perspectives. However, the inclusion of religious content particularly Christian teachings, has become a contentious issue in many educational settings. As society moves towards a more secular approach, there is a growing trend to limit or exclude religious teachings from curricula to ensure neutrality and inclusivity. Instances of censorship or exclusion of religious content in schools are becoming increasingly common. For example, some schools have removed prayers, Bible studies, or religious symbols from their campuses to avoid offending students of different faiths or those who identify as non-religious. Additionally, textbooks and course materials may be revised to present religious history and influence in a more secular context, often downplaying or omitting the role of religious beliefs in shaping cultures and societies. This trend towards secularization in education can lead to a diminished understanding of religious heritage and its impact on the world. By excluding or censoring religious content, educational institutions risk presenting a skewed version of history and culture that lacks the depth and richness provided by spiritual perspectives. This can result in students having a limited view of the world, missing out on the opportunity to engage with and understand the profound influence that religion has had and continues to have on human civilization. Media representation plays a crucial role in shaping public perception of religion and spirituality. In recent years, mainstream media has often portrayed religious beliefs, particularly those associated with Christianity, in a negative or stereotypical light. This portrayal can range from highlighting scandals and controversies within religious institutions to depicting religious adherents as intolerant or out of touch with modern values. Such biased representation can skew public understanding and foster misconceptions about faith communities. The impact of negative or biased media representation on public perception is significant. When media outlets consistently focus on the negative aspects of religion, it can create a distorted view that overlooks the positive contributions and diverse expressions of faith. This one-sided portrayal can lead to increased skepticism, prejudice, and hostility towards religious individuals and institutions, ultimately influencing public opinion and policy decisions. Moreover, the pervasive negative depiction of religion in media can erode the credibility and influence of religious teachings in society. As audiences are repeatedly exposed to unfavorable portrayals, they may begin to question the relevance and validity of spiritual beliefs and practices. This can contribute to a growing disconnect between contemporary culture and religious traditions, further fueling efforts to marginalize or ban religious content in various public spheres. Legal and legislative actions form another critical front in the attempts to ban or restrict God's Word. Various laws and regulations have been enacted worldwide that directly or indirectly target religious expressions, aiming to limit the public display or dissemination of religious beliefs. These legal measures often stem from a desire to maintain secularism, protect against perceived discrimination, or uphold public order, but they can also infringe upon religious freedoms and the rights of individuals to practice their faith openly. Case studies of legal battles over religious freedom highlight the complexities and challenges faced by faith communities. For example, in some countries, laws have been introduced to ban religious symbols in public spaces, restrict religious attire, or limit religious gatherings. In the United States, court cases such as Masterpiece Cake Shop v. Colorado Civil Rights Commission have brought to light the tension between anti-discrimination laws and religious freedom. These legal battles often reach high courts, where decisions can set significant precedents for how religious expression is treated under the law. These legal and legislative efforts can create an environment where religious expression is increasingly marginalized. By examining these cases and understanding the motivations behind such laws, it becomes evident that the push to restrict religious content is not only a matter of cultural or political shifts, but also a legal struggle. This underscores the importance of vigilance and advocacy to to protect religious freedoms and ensure that individuals can continue to access and share their spiritual beliefs without fear of legal repercussions. In conclusion, the attempts to ban God's Word stem from various factors, including cultural shifts, political agendas, educational influences, media representation, and legal actions. Each of these elements contributes to a broader effort to limit the presence and impact of religious teachings in public and private life. By understanding these motivations, we can better appreciate the challenges faced by faith communities and the importance of addressing these issues thoughtfully. As we've explored, cultural changes often clash with traditional religious values. Political groups may view religious texts as threats to their ideologies. Educational institutions might exclude religious content. Media can portray religion negatively, and legal battles highlight ongoing struggles for religious freedom. These forces collectively shape the landscape in which religious expression is either supported or suppressed. It's crucial for viewers to reflect on the importance of preserving religious freedom, recognizing it as a fundamental right that enriches society by allowing diverse beliefs to coexist. By staying informed and engaged, we can contribute to a more inclusive world where spiritual teachings are respected and accessible to all who seek them.